How do you successfully bring home a rescue parrot who definitely has some issues? What are some things that you can do, and what's the mindset you want to have to try to create the best setup, the best success for the parrot, and the best bond between you guys possible? Hey guys, I'm Kaylin, the author of the Parrot Bliss Bond, my newer book, Get to Know African Gray and Cape Parrots, plus I'm working on a third picture book. In this video, we're going to be using Zeus as an example because he was a rescue and he wasn't a friendly African Gray when I got him. If you're used to hanging out, thank you for being here. I have over 22 species of parrots. Parrots are my bliss. I love my parrots. My mission is to share my bliss with you, help reduce the need for rescues, and help increase your blissful bond so that you have the best relationship with your best feathered friend possible. One of the things that is so hard for a parrot is that in the wild, they hatch, they're born in a nest, they're with their brothers and sisters. If they have brothers and sisters, they're with their parents. And that family unit, with a lot of species, stays together at least for one more season. That means that the babies, they are always with each other, they're always with their parents until they're on their way to adulthood, at which point maybe they go join another flock. And certainly within that flock, when the couple, they go off. In a lot of parrot species, they go off together and spend time alone having their brood while the rest of the flock stays together. So young parrots, for example, with Puria conures, like a green cheek conure or a crimson bellied conure or a rock conure, I think they're called, the black-headed conures. These are birds that the babies will stick around, and next season they actually help raise the new babies. So they're used to really being with their family. They're identified, they're connected with their family, that's their flock. The flock stays together 24/7 or something very close to it for quite some time. They do have built into them that ability to go and start a new life and have a new mate. Now, when a parrot is raised in captivity, they're often taken from their parents, maybe before the egg hatches, maybe once they're 2-3 weeks old. And even at 4 weeks, they just maybe are getting to know their parents before they're taken away and things change. Then maybe from a breeder, they're taken either to a pet store or maybe they're sold to a person and they're in a home. Now, what happens with rescuing or rehoming is that, of course, they then lose their flock because they're either put in a rescue or they're rehomed and hopefully given to a new loving family. Max, come on. Yeah, you're falling, huh? You got it? You got it? There you go. And they have to readjust to life. They have to find their new place in the flock. The pecking order starts over again, except they don't know anything. Everything is now new. And when a parrot is young, that's a little easier on them because everything was new anyway, although they are used to hearing their mom. I have some of my birds that call to their eggs when they're sitting on their eggs. So that means that even as an egg, some of my parrots hear their parents' voices, especially their moms. And so it is a change, a new home, maybe a new cage, new people, new food, new everything. It's quite an adjustment. And when a parrot is a little older and gets rehomed, like the question that we received about a Senegal that got rehomed, you know, that can make for some difficulty. Trust can be lost. The feeling of belonging can be lost. The feeling of having had someone that you counted on can be lost because all of those things are now gone. So some parrots are going to adjust very well and very easily. We're fortunate that Rosie, our green-winged macaw, has adjusted exceedingly well. She surprises us. Sometimes it feels like she just has always been with us because she just seems so comfortable and so at home. With other species or other birds, because it just depends on the bird, it can be quite an adjustment. It's quite difficult. It's not so easy. Zeus here, for example, my African Gray, and this is Max, my Cape Parrot, my baby Cape Parrot. Zeus, we adopted him as an adult, and he already plucked. He obviously had been someone's pet, and he liked my husband better than he liked me, but adjusting for him wasn't so easy. One thing about African Greys and Senegals is they don't really like the big loud life of a kayik or a conure, even an Amazon. These are birds that are loud and or active. Smaller birds tend to be active too. Now, active alone probably wouldn't be so hard on Zeus, but a lot of noise. Like right now, I can hear one of the roofs in our neighborhood is being replaced, and you can hear the pounding, and Zeus is like, what's that? He doesn't like that excessive noise. So when you bring a new parrot home, especially one that's already undergone some emotional issues, if you will, one of the best things you can do is make sure that they have a new setting that provides safety, security, and comfort. Those are going to come in the form of a cage, and for a while there, I would be really careful. I would be very hands-off. Well, I don't want my parrot to get cage aggressive. What's more important to me is that I'm hands-off with the cage. I let them have the cage. I tell them, this is your new home. This is your space. I would do whatever I can, maybe give them what I call a bat box, which is an upside down nest box with no bottom so that they can't perch. It just has a perch in it, so they can go and hide in there the way they would something similar to a tree trunk. Or I would cover one side pretty permanently so that they can have a space where they can go and hide if they need it. And frankly, if my new parrot went and hid for a week, I would be fine with that, because it means that they're really scared. They need to start to feel like they can find some quiet and some comfort and really get past feeling threatened for whatever reason, for whatever has happened in their past and whatever's happening to them now, so that they can start to release the past and start to look around and go, wait, maybe it's not so bad here. A part of that comfort is I would make sure that there's no dog barking by their cage. I would make sure that they're not next to another cage with another parrot that they're not as comfortable with. For example, I wouldn't put Rosie, my big macaw, next to Zeus. Zeus would not like that. She's a big bird and she means business, and that's a threat. Is Rosie being threatening? No, not at all. It's just the way she looks. She's just bigger, she has a bigger beak, and it's just not going to be as relaxing for Zeus. So I like to put Zeus and his partner Hera in a cage as much as I can, sort of with the flock, but removed from the flock. If this is most of the cages, I try to put them on the outskirts. I try to put them towards a side that isn't as loud. I'll put the Amazons on one side and I try to move them to another side. So I try, even though my birds aren't new to my flock, I try to make adjustments for a lot of them anyway. So you've got a new parrot who is starting to bond with someone, but maybe is biting, maybe is freaking out a little. Have a little compassion, a little empathy for their situation. Understand that it's not personal. It's not because they do or don't like you. It's just because they're carrying some wounding. Something has happened to them, whether it's physical, emotional, mental, whatever it is, that's been hard on them. Even if it just simply is the loss of, like I said, that the old safety and security, the old way things were, the old cage, the old home, the old food, and the people that they had bonded with, or the birds that they had bonded with. That's a lot of change. I mean, just think, when you have to go start a new job the first day, especially when you're young, it's intimidating. You're looking around, everything's new, people are talking, you're new, so that you don't even know what they're talking about, you don't understand, you don't have the reference points. It's just like all of whirlwind. So be patient. One of the things that I've really noticed with my rescues is, given enough time, they do come around. Now, enough time depends on, the definition of enough time depends on how much time you spend with them. I never imposed myself heavily on Zeus. I never spent a lot of time with him. I did try to spend some time with him, but he was more interested in my husband, so I backed off and I let him just sort of do his thing. Look at this. A bird in the hand. Hi, sweetie. Hi, cute little thing. You're such a cute little thing. Yes, you are. Here, you want to play with the walnut? Look, I have a walnut. Look at this. You want this? So Zeus has taken a couple of years to adjust. Now Zeus lets me pick him up, and he and I have built up more rapport. But I didn't push it. I didn't spend a lot of time with him. When I'm trying to really bond with a parrot, I try to keep them by my side for 4 to 6 hours a day for like 11 days to 2 weeks straight, as much as I can. Yes, it's quite a bit, but that's what it's like. I mean, after all, think about when you fall in love and you're first in a relationship, especially when you're young. You kind of get crazed with the love. You want to be with that person every waking minute. You can't get enough. Now, of course, your new parrot, you don't necessarily feel like that about them, but you can get a sense that that bond and that connection, when you're in a romantic relationship, one of the things that really feeds it is spending that time together. That's the same. If you want to create a really nice bond, a really good connection with your new parrot, even when they bite you, one of the best things you can do is spend a lot of time with them. Even though it's only when I'm doing videos. Even if you have a perch, I've got several perches where your parrot is on their perch and they're not even touching you, especially a new parrot like the Senegal, who's nervous and who's biting, kind of really wants to spend time, wants to bond, but is deathly afraid too. That might be going on. That happens. Then just having them close by makes a really big difference. For example, I'm letting Zeus just hang out with me. If you look over here, let's see if you could see Rosie. There's Rosie. Rosie is often closer, but she's often on a perch hanging out if she isn't on my shoulder or just sitting with me letting me pet her. Zeus is just hanging out. I'll let Zeus hang out in his cage. I'll let him hang out on his cage. I'm letting him spend time with me so that he gets more and more comfortable with me. Of course, out here with the helicopters flying by, there's a squirrel a few feet away. Hi, squirrely. You know, Zeus is kind of going, hey, what's going on? It's okay, Zeus. I know, there's a squirrel there. It's okay. He can't get in the lanai. It's okay. We're screened in, so the squirrel can't get in and Zeus can't get out. But spending that time makes a really big difference. It helps your parrot start to change their mind. When day after day after day, they see that you bring treats, you feed them, you take care of them, you don't mean them harm, you let them be in peace, you let them just hang out with you, they start to relax. Things start to shift for them. Again, you know, it can take months. Depending on the parrot's age, you're gonna have to add months, if not years on. It can take some time, but every day is gonna be better. Every day they're going to remember the day before and they're gonna be a little more relaxed. Now, it may be just a little, but every day will get either a lot better or a little bit better. And as it does, you'll find that your parrot gets more and more comfortable with you, and they start to learn and perceive you as someone who is sticking around, who's in the flock, who's going to take care of them. One of the things that I really also like saying, because I have found it to be very true in my flock, is I talk to them. Someone had asked, when I talk to my parrots and I tell them something like, welcome to the flock, I'm going to take care of you now, this is your new home. They ask, what's the body language? How do they respond? And the truth is, you don't exactly see a response in their body language, but let's talk to Zeus right now. Hey, Zeus. Hi, Zeusy. How are you? Hey, Zeus. How are you doing? You know, I know you're having problems with your feetsies. Yeah, you've got something neurological, but I'm going to take care of you. Yeah, the vet's taking care of you and I'm taking care of you. And if you want to spend more time together, we can, right? I'll take care of you. You're going to be okay. Don't worry. Max isn't going to do anything to you either. Yeah, it's all good. It's okay. It's okay. I like to do Cesar Millan's Get Calm and Confident, and then talk to him. I don't know if you can see it. Zeus is shaking a little. It's because we're outside, so he's a little nervous. But you can see that there isn't necessarily an immediate, oh, good, I hear what she's saying. but there is an energetic understanding and there is a shifting. You may not see the shift right away. It can take a little time, but they really come around and it really changes. When I've talked to my parrots that way, they all seem to really understand. Again, not necessarily immediately, but they understand, and we have great rapport. I love all of my parrots. They're super phenomenal to me. I think everyone is special, and I tell them, and I think that they really know it. So be patient, give it time, try some of those things. Let me know how it goes, and here's to hoping that you have a phenomenal, blissful bond. There's nothing better than rescuing, only because, you know, it's kind of sad. A parrot, they are meant to be with their flock, and they wouldn't leave their flock. So it's not really their fault when they get rehomed, but they kind of have all the difficulty, all the ennuis put on them to adjust to a new life and to new everything. So here's to having a blissful bond and rescuing a parrot and giving them a home. I'll catch you in the next blissful video, but in the meantime, if you'll give me one of these, comment below. That helps my juice. I would appreciate it. And if you want any awesome parrot merch, be sure to visit shop.parrotbliss.com, and I'll catch you in the next feathered video.